The stars were dying. One by one, across the vast spiral arms of the Milky Way, suns flickered and faded like candles in a cold wind. The alliance of 12 species watched in horror as their ancient civilization began to crumble. Admiral Vex stood on the command deck of the flagship Eternal Light *, his four-fingered hands clasped tightly behind his back. The holographic display before him showed another system going dark. That made 17 this month alone. How many were we able to evacuate? He asked, his voice low and gravelly. Less than half, Admiral, replied his first officer. The anomaly spread faster than our models predicted. 3 transport ships were lost. Vex closed his eyes briefly. Millions of lives, gone in an instant. The weight of command had never felt heavier on his shoulders. Send the report to the Council, he ordered, and prepare jump coordinates for the Centauri sector. We must warn the mining colonies. Across the galaxy, on the crystalline homeworld of the Lumina, the eldest members of the Alliance gathered in their great chamber. Their translucent bodies glowed with internal light, though many noticed how that light had dimmed in recent months. The anomalies affected even their energy-based physiology. Elder Tal, oldest of the Lumina, spoke in a voice that sounded like wind chimes. The ancient texts speak of this. The devourers of light, born in the first moments of creation, hungry for the energy of stars. Those are children's tales, protested another elder, though without much conviction. All tales have seeds of truth, Tal responded. We thought them gone forever, but perhaps they were merely sleeping. And now they wake, hungry after eons of slumber. In the research station orbiting the gas giant Keldar, the finest scientists of the Alliance worked desperately to understand the nature of the anomalies. Sensor data showed impossible energy readings. Stars were not simply going nova or collapsing. Their energy was being systematically drained, transferred somewhere else. It defies all known physics, said Professor Mick, a small gray-skinned being with 8 limbs moving frantically over control panels. It's as if the fundamental constants of the universe are being locally rewritten. His research partner, the insectoid Dr. Ziv, chittered in agreement. The boundary of the anomalies is expanding at an increasing rate. At this progression, all Alliance systems will be compromised within 5 standard years. On 100 worlds, the people of the Alliance looked up at their darkening skies with fear. Governments collapsed. Riots broke out on some planets as resources became scarce. Refugee ships filled the space lanes, desperate to reach systems that remained untouched. The Alliance fleet, once the proud peacekeepers of the galaxy, found themselves serving as evacuation transports and emergency responders. The Council of 12 convened an emergency session, their debates growing more heated and desperate. Some advocated for a mass migration beyond the galactic rim. Others believed in a final stand, throwing all remaining resources into weapons that might drive back the spreading darkness. None of their plans seemed adequate against a threat that consumed stars themselves. Yet on the outer spiral arm of the galaxy, on a small blue-green planet circling an unremarkable yellow star, life continued in blissful ignorance of the cosmic catastrophe. The humans of Earth looked up at their healthy sun and twinkling night sky, unaware that they were witnessing the last healthy corner of a dying galaxy. In a sprawling complex in the Nevada desert, a team of engineers made final adjustments to humanity's first faster-than-light spacecraft. Captain Tom Walker walked around the sleek vessel, running his hand along the hull with pride. Tomorrow we make history, he told his assembled crew. The Pioneer will take humanity to the stars. None of them knew that their maiden voyage would lead them into the middle of a galactic apocalypse, or that their unique understanding of physics would offer hope to a civilization on the brink of extinction. The Pioneer slipped through the darkness of space, its quantum drive humming with energy that folded reality around the ship. Captain Walker watched the stars streak past on the main view screen. Their first jump beyond the solar system had worked perfectly. Engine status, Walker asked, his voice calm despite the historical importance of the moment. Quantum field is stable at 98%, "Captain," replied Jim, the chief engineer. "Better than our simulations predicted." Walker nodded with satisfaction. Humanity's first venture beyond their home system was proceeding smoothly. They had targeted a nearby star with promising planetary signatures, hoping to find new resources or perhaps even habitable worlds. What they found instead changed the course of human history forever. "Captain, I'm picking up an unusual energy signature," said Maria from the sensor station. Her eyes widened as data flowed across her screen. It's moving, sir. And it's massive." Walker leaned forward in his command chair. On screen, the view screen shifted to show a distant object against the blackness of space. It was clearly artificial, a ship of some kind, but unlike anything designed by human hands. Its surface gleamed with an iridescent material that seemed to shift colors as they watched. But most alarming were the visible signs of damage along its hull. Parts of the structure were torn open, revealing darkened interiors. "Are we detecting any life signs?" Walker asked. "Difficult to say with our limited understanding of the technology," Maria replied. "But there are energy fluctuations consistent with active systems." Walker made his decision quickly. "Move us in closer, but maintain safe distance. Let's see if we can establish contact." As the Pioneer approached, the alien vessel seemed to sense their presence. Lights flickered along its damaged hull, and a beam of energy suddenly shot out toward them. The crew tensed, but the beam stopped short, resolving into a holographic projection that filled their bridge. 3 distinct alien forms took shape before their astonished eyes. The central figure was tall and graceful, with feather-like appendages and 4 arms. To its right stood a smaller being with crystalline skin that glowed from within. The third was broad and insectoid, with compound eyes that reflected the bridge lights. "This is Captain Thomas Walker of the Earth vessel Pioneer *", Walker said, rising to his feet. "We come in peace and offer assistance." The central alien spoke, and to everyone's surprise, their words were translated by the holographic interface itself. "I am Ambassador Lyra of the Alliance of 12 Species," the feathered being said. "Your arrival is unexpected but welcome. Our ship is critically damaged, and we have many injured." Walker organized rescue teams while Lyra explained their dire situation. The Alliance was ancient and vast, spanning much of the galaxy. But now it faced extinction from mysterious anomalies that drained the energy from stars and planets. Their ship had barely escaped one such event, suffering catastrophic damage in the process. "Your vessel's propulsion system," said Lyra, studying the Pioneer * with obvious fascination. "It functions differently than our technology. We detected your approach through distortions in quantum fields we have never observed before." The crystalline alien moved forward. "I am Elder Tal of the Lumina. May I inquire how your ship's drive functions? It seems unaffected by the energy-draining properties that disable our own vessels." Before the humans could answer, alarms blared throughout both ships. A portion of space nearby began to darken, stars winking out one by one. "It's here," Lyra said, fear evident in her alien features. "The anomaly has followed us." Walker watched in horror as a wave of absolute blackness began spreading toward them, consuming everything in its path. The alien refugees hurried aboard the Pioneer * as their own vessel's systems failed completely. "Can your ship outrun it?" Lyra asked desperately. Walker turned to his engineer. "Jim, push the quantum drive to maximum. Get us back to Earth now." As the Pioneer * twisted space around itself and accelerated away, the human crew witnessed the alien vessel being swallowed by darkness. The refugees watched in silence, many seeing their hopes die with their ship. "Your world," Lyra said quietly to Walker. "Is it far from here?" "Far enough, I hope," Walker replied, watching the anomaly recede on long-range sensors. "But I don't think anywhere in the galaxy will be far enough for long." The Pioneer * raced back to Earth, carrying the first aliens humans had ever encountered, and news of a threat that would require all of humanity's ingenuity to face. Earth changed overnight. The arrival of the Pioneer with its alien refugees sparked a global transformation unlike anything in human history. Nations set aside their differences as the full scale of the galactic threat became clear. The United Nations chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from every country packed the room, all eyes fixed on the stage, where Ambassador Lyra and Elder Tal stood beside Captain Walker. The alien visitors had just finished explaining the crisis that threatened to consume the entire galaxy. "This is why your help is so desperately needed," Lyra concluded, her feathered limbs spread wide in a gesture of appeal. "The Alliance has existed for thousands of years, with technology far beyond what Earth has developed. Yet we have found no way to stop these anomalies." Dr. Alan Reed sat in the front row, his mind racing. As the chief physicist behind the quantum drive that powered the Pioneer he had been summoned immediately after the ship's return. Now he raised his hand to speak. "I believe I understand why your ships fail while ours doesn't," he said, standing. "It's not that our technology is more advanced. It's that it's fundamentally different." Reed walked to the podium, bringing up diagrams on the large screen behind him. "The Alliance technology manipulates energy directly," he explained. "You harness the energy of stars, bend it to your will. It's elegant and powerful." Elder Tal's crystalline form shimmered with interest. "This is correct. Energy manipulation has been the foundation of all Alliance technology for millennia. But human technology took a different path," Reed continued. "Our quantum drive doesn't manipulate energy. It manipulates the underlying fabric of space-time itself. We don't push against the universe. We fold it." Reed displayed side-by-side comparisons of human and Alliance engine designs. "I believe these anomalies feed on specific energy frequencies, the very frequencies that Alliance technology produces. But our drives operate on a completely different principle, making them invisible to these entities." The room fell silent as the implications became clear. Elder Tal moved forward, light pulsing through its crystal body. The ancient texts spoke of this possibility. The devourers of light were driven into dormancy eons ago by what our ancestors called the shadow path, a way of moving through space without disturbing the light. "Your quantum drive," Lyra said with growing excitement, "it might be this shadow path." In the weeks that followed, Earth became the headquarters of the greatest scientific collaboration in history. Alliance refugees streamed into the solar system as more of their worlds fell to the spreading darkness. They brought their vast knowledge and advanced technology, while human scientists contributed their unique approach to physics. Reed worked day and night with a team of human and alien scientists. They discovered that the anomalies weren't just natural phenomena. They were ancient, semi-conscious entities that had existed since the early universe. Their energy signatures matched patterns found in the oldest Alliance records. "They're waking up after billions of years of sleep," Reed explained to the Emergency Council. "And they're hungry." On a massive screen, he displayed a galaxy map showing the spread of darkness. Already 1/3 of the Milky Way had gone dark, with the wave of anomalies accelerating as they consumed more energy. "We have perhaps one Earth year before they reach our solar system," Lyra said gravely. "After that, the entire galaxy will fall within months." But Reed's team had developed a prototype defense. By reconfiguring the principles of the quantum drive, they had created a device that could repel the anomalies. A resonator that emitted quantum frequencies the entities found repulsive. "It's ready for testing," Reed announced. "But we need a ship to carry it into infected space." Major Lisa Cooper stepped forward, a veteran pilot with experience testing experimental aircraft. She had been training on the newly built quantum ships. "I'll take it," she said simply. Admiral Vex, who had arrived with the latest refugee fleet, studied the human woman with his 4 eyes. "You understand this is likely a one-way mission. Even with your quantum technology, proximity to an active anomaly is extremely dangerous." Cooper nodded. "Someone has to be first. Might as well be me." As preparations for the test mission began, Elder Tal shared a disturbing revelation with Reed and Walker in private. The Lumina have a theory about why these entities have awakened now, after eons of dormancy. The ancient beam's glow dimmed slightly. We believe they sense a new power in the galaxy, the emergence of humanity and your quantum technology. They fear it, as it is the one thing that can return them to their long sleep. Major Lisa Cooper strapped herself into the pilot's seat of the Pathfinder *, the first ship built specifically to test the resonator. The vessel combined human quantum drive technology with Alliance defensive systems, creating something entirely new. Through the viewport, she could see the worried faces of the launch team. All systems green, she reported, running through her pre-launch checklist. Quantum drive at full capacity. Resonator is online and stable. Dr. Reed's voice came through her headset. Remember, Lisa, the moment you detect any instability in the resonator, you jump back. This is just a test. We need the data more than we need heroics. Cooper smiled. Understood, Doctor. Though I did pack a lunch, just in case. The Pathfinder launched smoothly from Earth's new orbital shipyard. Within minutes, Cooper activated the quantum drive, and reality folded around her ship. The target was a small star system already half consumed by anomalies, close enough to be reached quickly, but not so strategic that failure would doom the overall mission. When the Pathfinder emerged from quantum space, Cooper gasped. The view screen showed a nightmarish scene. Half the system was simply gone. Where stars and planets should have been, there was only emptiness, not even darkness, but a complete absence of anything, as if that portion of space had been erased from existence. At the boundary between normal space and the void, strange energies flickered and danced. The anomalies were active, feeding. Target zone reached, Cooper reported, her voice steady despite the terrifying view. Beginning resonator activation sequence. She entered the commands carefully. The ship hummed as the device powered up, drawing energy from the quantum drive. On her sensor display, she could see the quantum field expanding outward from her ship in invisible waves. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, at the edge where normal space met nothingness, there was movement. The void rippled like the surface of water, and seemed to pull back slightly. "It's working," Cooper exclaimed. "The boundary is receding, sending telemetry now." Back on Earth, the command center erupted in cheers as Cooper's data streamed in. The resonator was pushing back the anomalies, reclaiming small portions of consumed space. Reed studied the readings with growing excitement. The entities are retreating from the quantum frequencies, just as we theorized. But the celebration was short-lived. Cooper's alarmed voice cut through the chatter. Something's happening. The void, it's changing. On the Pathfinder's sensors, the anomalies were no longer simply retreating. They were gathering, concentrating into a single massive presence. They're reacting, Cooper reported, almost like they're intelligent, like they recognize a threat. The void surged forward suddenly, much faster than before. Cooper fired the quantum drive, barely escaping as the darkness reached for her ship. The Pathfinder twisted through space, the quantum fields around it visibly distorting as the anomalies tried to follow. "I think I got their attention," Cooper said grimly as she fought to control her ship. "They definitely don't like the resonator." When the Pathfinder finally returned to Earth, Cooper's data transformed their understanding of the threat. The anomalies weren't mindless forces of nature. They were ancient predators with a primitive form of collective intelligence. "The good news is the resonator works," Reed explained to the Joint Human Alliance Council. "The bad news is that the entities can adapt and respond to threats. They're learning." Admiral Vex's expression was grim. "Then we must strike harder and faster than they can adapt. We need more ships with these resonator devices, and we need to find their source," Walker added. "Where are they coming from? There must be a central point." Ambassador Lyra spread her maps across the table. Our deep space probes detected a massive concentration of anomalies at the galactic core. If there's a source, that's where we'll find it. The Council debated the new information for hours. Some, like Vex, argued for immediate aggressive action, building a fleet to reclaim lost territory. Others advocated for a focused strike at the source. As the debate grew heated, political tensions surfaced. Several Alliance representatives questioned whether humans should lead such critical missions. After all, they were newcomers to galactic civilization, barely space-capable by Alliance standards. "We trust you with the technology," said one Alliance commander, "but command should remain with those who have fought in space for centuries." Walker felt his temper rising, but Reed placed a calming hand on his arm. "We don't need to command," the scientist said diplomatically. "We just need to solve the problem together." The joint fleet took shape in Earth's orbit, 50 ships of mixed human and Alliance design. Each vessel carried a version of the Resonator, though the largest and most powerful was installed on the flagship Unity, a massive vessel that represented the pinnacle of both civilizations' technology. Walker, now promoted to admiral, stood on the Unity's bridge, surveying the assembled armada. The plan was risky but straightforward: a direct strike at the galactic core, where intelligence suggested the anomalies originated. "Final systems check complete," reported his first officer. "All ships report ready for jump." Walker nodded. "Signal the fleet. We depart in 10 minutes." As preparations continued, Ambassador Lyra approached him quietly. "There are rumors of dissent among some Alliance captains," she warned. "Admiral Vex has been meeting privately with them. He still believes humans should not be leading this mission." Walker frowned. "We need unity now more than ever. Can you speak with him?" "I've tried," Lyra said. "He respects your accomplishments but fears what will happen to Alliance influence if humans save the galaxy. It's politics, not personal." Before Walker could respond, an explosion rocked the ship. Alarms blared throughout the Unity as damage reports flooded in. "The Resonator chamber," shouted the security chief. "There's been an explosion." Walker and Lyra raced to the ship's central core, where the massive Resonator device was housed. Smoke filled the corridors as emergency teams fought to contain the damage. Dr. Reed was already there, his face streaked with soot as he examined the ruined components. "Sabotage," he said grimly. "Someone knew exactly where to place the charges to disable the primary emitter. We're dead in the water." Walker ordered an immediate security lockdown and investigation. Evidence quickly pointed to Admiral Vex's personnel, who had been aboard for final calibrations. When confronted, Vex denied any involvement, though his anger at human leadership was no secret. "This is outrageous," Vex protested. "I would never endanger the mission, regardless of who commands it." The situation deteriorated rapidly as trust between the Allies fractured. The mission hung in the balance as accusations flew between human and Alliance crews. Then one of Elder Tal's assistants came forward with startling information. Security footage revealed that the saboteurs were not Vex's people, but members of a secretive Lumina faction called the Witnesses. They believe the anomalies are not a threat, but a divine cleansing, the young Luminette explained, its crystalline body dimming with shame. The Witnesses teach that the universe undergoes cycles of purification. They see the Devourers as instruments of cosmic renewal. The revelation stunned both sides. Vex demanded an immediate apology from Walker, who provided it without hesitation. "We cannot afford division now," Walker said. "Our enemy is out there, not in here." Reed worked frantically with his team to repair the Resonator. Parts were scavenged from the smaller devices aboard other ships, weakening them, but making it possible to restore the Unity's primary weapon. "It won't be as powerful as we planned," Reed explained as they tested the rebuilt device. "But it should still be strong enough to create a significant effect at the core." The delay had cost them precious time. New reports showed the anomalies accelerating their consumption of the galaxy, almost as if they sensed the coming attack. More Alliance worlds fell to darkness while the fleet underwent repairs. Elder Tal, who had been unusually quiet during the crisis, finally spoke to the assembled commanders. There is another piece of information the Lumina have kept hidden, the Ancient being admitted. The Devourers were not simply driven into dormancy in ancient times. They were imprisoned. The crystalline elder projected images from its body, showing ancient structures unlike anything humans had seen before. At the galactic core lies a construct built by the first civilizations, what we call the cage. It was designed to contain the entities for all time. If it has failed after millions of years, then that's our real target, Walker finished. We don't need to destroy these entities. We need to repair their prison. Vex studied the ancient images with new intensity. This changes our approach completely. A targeted repair mission instead of an attack. As the fleet prepared once more for departure, Walker found himself in an unexpected private meeting with Vex. The Alliance Admiral's 4 eyes studied him carefully. "I may have misjudged you, human," Vex said finally. "Perhaps your perspective is exactly what the galaxy needs right now." Walker accepted the olive branch with a nod. "We'll need all our perspectives before this is over." The journey to the galactic core tested the fleet at every turn. As they ventured deeper into infected space, the anomalies grew more numerous and aggressive. By the 3rd day, they had lost 7 ships, swallowed by sudden void eruptions that gave no warning. "They're hunting us now," Major Cooper said, studying the sensor readings from her position on the Unity's bridge. "They've learned to recognize our quantum signatures." Admiral Walker nodded grimly. "Adapt our jump patterns. Randomize intervals between jumps. Don't give them a pattern to follow." The fleet pushed on, each jump bringing them closer to the heart of the galaxy. With each passing day, the stars grew denser around them, and the anomalies more concentrated. Space itself seemed to twist and distort at the boundary between normal reality and the void regions. On the 10th day, the fleet suffered its worst loss yet. A massive anomaly materialized directly in the path of the Alliance cruiser Starlight *. The ship had no time to change course. One moment it was there, carrying over 300 crew members. The next, it had simply ceased to exist. "We can't keep going like this," Vex argued during the emergency council. "At this rate, none of us will reach the core." Dr. Reed, who had been analyzing the patterns of attacks, offered a new approach. "The anomalies respond most aggressively to the resonator energy signatures. What if we use that? Create decoys to draw them away from our main force." The strategy worked. Small unmanned probes equipped with miniature resonators drew the entities away, creating a corridor through which the remaining fleet could advance. After 17 days of careful navigation, they finally reached their destination. The sight that greeted them silenced every crew member across the fleet. At the very center of the galaxy, where most expected to find only the supermassive black hole known to exist there, floated an enormous artificial structure. It was a perfect sphere, easily the size of a small moon, its surface covered with intricate patterns that pulsed with dim light. "The cage," Elder Tal whispered, the crystalline being's light fluctuating with emotion, just as the ancient texts described it. But the cage was clearly failing. Massive cracks ran across its surface, and through these fissures poured streams of darkness, the anomalies escaping their ancient prison. Around the sphere, space itself seemed to boil with their presence. "Those aren't just cracks," Reed said, studying the sensor readings. "Those are control points." The cage wasn't just containing the entities, it was keeping them dormant through some kind of energy field. Ambassador Lyra moved closer to the view screen, her feathery appendages trembling. "Can we repair it?" Reed hesitated. "Maybe. If we can understand the operating principles, we might be able to integrate our resonator technology with whatever systems are still functioning." Walker made his decision quickly. "We need to board that structure. Form a team. Reed, Cooper, myself, and volunteers from both human and Alliance crews. Vex surprised everyone by immediately volunteering. You'll need someone who can interpret Alliance technology if there's any similarity to the ancient systems. The boarding party prepared in tense silence. No one knew what to expect inside an artifact built by civilizations that had vanished millions of years before humans had even evolved. The Unity approached as close as it dared to the massive sphere, while the rest of the fleet formed a defensive perimeter. "Something's happening," warned the sensor officer. "The anomalies. They're converging." All around the fleet, the void regions began to shift and flow, moving with purpose rather than their usual random patterns. They were gathering, forming a black ring around the assembled ships. "They know what we're trying to do," Cooper said. "They're trying to stop us." Walker looked at the ancient sphere, their only hope for saving the galaxy. Then he glanced at the faces of his mixed crew, human and alien alike, united by a common purpose despite their differences. "Launch the shuttle," he ordered. "Get us to that sphere before they cut us off completely." The small craft shot away from the Unity, carrying the boarding party through the narrowing gap in the ring of darkness. Behind them, the fleet engaged the gathering anomalies with their resonators, buying time with their desperate defense. The shuttle shuddered as it approached the sphere's cracked surface. Ahead, an opening appeared, not a crack, but a deliberate entrance, as if the ancient structure recognized their approach and was welcoming them inside. "It's responding to us," Tal said in wonder. "After all this time, it still functions at some level." Inside the cage, time seemed to slow. The boarding party moved through corridors that twisted in impossible geometries, illuminated by soft light that emanated from the walls themselves. The structure's interior appeared to shift and change as they walked, adapting to their presence. "It's responding to us," Reed said, checking his instruments. "The entire structure is one massive machine, reconfiguring itself constantly." Elder Tal moved ahead, the ancient luminous crystalline body resonating with the energies around them. "I can sense echoes of the builders here. They were old when my species was young. They understood the universe in ways we have forgotten." The deeper they ventured, the more the reality around them warped. Space seemed to fold in on itself, creating shortcuts through the massive structure. After what felt like hours, they reached what could only be the central chamber, a vast spherical room at the heart of the cage. In the center floated what looked like a miniature galaxy, swirling with light and darkness, locked in constant battle. Surrounding it was a ring of control panels covered in symbols unlike any language known to the Alliance. "The throat of creation," Tal whispered, "where the entities first entered our universe. The builders sealed the breach here." Cooper approached one of the panels cautiously. "These look like control systems, but the interfaces are completely alien." Reed studied the strange symbols, comparing them to the quantum equations that powered human FTL drives. "There's a pattern here. Not in the symbols themselves, but in their arrangement. It's mathematics. Quantum mathematics." To everyone's surprise, Admiral Vex stepped forward. "The Alliance may not understand quantum physics as humans do, but we recognize some of these patterns. They appear in our most ancient relics." Working together, Reed and Vex began to decipher the control systems while Walker and Cooper established a defensive perimeter. Through the walls, they could hear the sounds of battle as the fleet fought the gathering anomalies outside. "I think I understand now," Reed said after an intense hour of study. "This isn't just a prison. It's a regulator. The entities are part of the universe's fundamental structure. Cosmic antibodies, in a sense. They were never meant to be destroyed, just controlled." The swirling miniature galaxy in the center pulsed, as if reacting to Reed's words. Dark tendrils reached out from it, probing toward the team. "They're trying to stop us," Tal warned. "The entities have grown aware enough to fear what we might do." Walker raised his weapon as the darkness took shape, forming into ghostly approximations of humanoid forms. "Hold them off. Give Reed time to figure this out." A desperate battle ensued within the chamber as the manifestations of the void entities attacked. Walker and Cooper fired their weapons, which seemed to temporarily disperse the shapes but couldn't destroy them. Vex used Alliance energy technology to create barriers, buying Reed precious minutes. The resonator, Reed shouted over the chaos. It's compatible with this system. Their quantum frequency is the key the builders use to regulate the entities. Working frantically, Reed and Tal connected the resonator device they had brought to the ancient control systems. The crystalline alien's body served as a natural conductor, bridging technologies separated by millions of years of evolution. It's working, Reed exclaimed as the control panels began to glow with renewed energy. The systems are reactivating. The central swirl of light and darkness convulsed violently. The dark shapes attacking the team redoubled their efforts, sensing impending defeat. A tendril of darkness struck Tal, causing the Elder Lumina to crack and dim. Complete the connection, Tal gasped, the ancient being's light flickering. I will hold the bridge. As Tal's crystalline form began to fracture under the strain, the final connections were made. The resonator's energy surged through the ancient systems, spreading throughout the massive sphere. It's done, Reed shouted. The cage is repairing itself. A pulse of energy swept outward from the central chamber, racing through the cage and beyond. The dark shapes attacking them wavered and dissolved. The miniature galaxy at the center stabilized, light and darkness, achieving a perfect balance. Throughout the galaxy, the anomalies paused in their consumption of stars and planets. Then, like water flowing back to the sea, they began to retreat, pulled back toward the core by an irresistible force. Walker helped the injured Tal as they made their way back to the shuttle. Is it over? Are they contained again?